Hello and welcome. Today we're going to talk about something really cool, a powerful tool for your financial toolkit. It's called the Systematic Withdrawal Plan, or SWP for short. We're going to break down exactly how you can turn those investments you've worked so hard for into a steady, reliable income stream. Let's get into it. So let me just start with a question that I think is on a lot of our minds. Do you want a regular income from your investments? Especially when you think about retirement, right? You've spent all these years building up your wealth. Now, how do you get that wealth to start working for you, paying you back month after month? Well, that's exactly the problem we're tackling today. All right, so let's set the stage a little. Think about it. We're living longer these days. Markets can be, well, pretty unpredictable. And those old school options like fixed deposits, a lot of the time, they just don't cut it. They really struggle to beat inflation, especially after you factor in taxes. This whole new reality means we absolutely need a smarter, more flexible way to create that income. So what is the solution here? Well, this is where the Systematic Withdrawal Plan, or SWP, comes in. And here's the key thing to remember. It's not some new product you have to go out and buy. It's actually a powerful feature you can switch on for the mutual fund investments you might already have. So what is it exactly? Okay, putting it really simply, an SWP is just a way for you to set up automatic, regular withdrawals from your mutual funds. Think about it. You get to decide the amount, and you decide how often you get it. Monthly, quarterly, whatever works for you. Then, on the date you pick, the fund just sells off enough units to get you your cash, and here's the best part, the rest of your money, it stays right there invested. Here's a fantastic way to think about this. An SWP is basically like setting up a salary for yourself that you pay from your own investments. You're creating your own personal payroll, right? It's paid out from the wealth that you've already built. It really puts you in the driver's seat. Now, I'm sure a lot of you have heard of an SIP, right? A systematic investment plan. That's where you're putting money in regularly. Well, an SWP is pretty much its mirror opposite. An SIP is all about building wealth over time. An SWP, that's about creating a cash flow from the wealth you've already built. So one's for putting money in, the other is for taking it out, systematically, of course. All right, so we know what it is. Now let's do a bit of a deep dive. Let's get into the nitty-gritty of how this thing actually works and really why it's such a great option for so many people. The process is actually wonderfully straightforward. First, you start with your lump sum in a mutual fund. Step 2, you just tell the fund house how much you want to withdraw and how often. Then, on your chosen date, they sell just enough units to cover that amount, and bam, the cash lands in your bank account. And this is the most important part. The rest of your investment, it stays right there in the market with the potential to keep on growing. Okay, theory is one thing, but seeing it in action really makes it click, right? So let's walk through a quick example with some actual numbers to see how this works in the real world. Okay, so for our example, let's imagine you've invested 2 lakh rupees in a mutual fund. The price per unit, which is called the net asset value, or NAV, is 20 rupees. Simple math, that means you own 10,000 units. Now, you decide you want to set up an SWP to pull out 5,000 rupees every single month. Got it? That's our starting point. Okay, now let's fast forward 1 month. To get you that 5,000 rupees, the fund sells 250 of your units. But, and this is where the magic happens, let's say the market has a good month and the NAV goes up to 21. Well, even after taking money out, your remaining investment is now worth more than 2 lakh. It's actually worth 2,04,750. See? That's the power of keeping your money working for you.
So just to recap, the benefits here are really clear. You get a predictable income stream, which is fantastic. You've got total flexibility to change the amount or how often you get it. Your capital still has the potential to grow. It's way more tax efficient than FDs, and it kind of forces you into a disciplined way of using your savings, which is never a bad thing.
All right, I really want to zoom in on that tax benefit for a second because honestly, this is one of the biggest reasons to look at an SWP instead of some other options. This is where the SWP really shines. Think about a fixed deposit. Every single rupee of interest you earn gets added to your income and, yep, it gets taxed. But with an SWP, it's different. Each withdrawal you make has 2 parts, your original money and the profit, or what we call capital gains. And here's the kicker. You only pay tax on the gains part. That simple difference can mean a much, much lower tax bill, which means more money stays right in your pocket. Okay, now let's be real for a minute. No investment strategy is perfect, and none are without risk. So to make a smart decision, we absolutely have to talk about the potential downsides and what you need to watch out for. Time for a quick reality check. So there are a few key risks you've got to keep in mind. First, market volatility. If the market is down when you withdraw, the fund has to sell more of your units to get you the same amount of cash. That can eat away at your capital faster. Then there's the risk of just taking out too much too fast. If your withdrawal rate is too high, you could run out of money. And it's really important to remember, unlike an annuity, this income is not guaranteed. It's tied to the market. And finally, inflation. That 5,000 rupees you take out today isn't going to buy the same amount of stuff 10 years from now. Now, hearing about the risks isn't meant to scare you off. Not at all. It's just about being prepared and going in with your eyes open. So, with that in mind, let's look at the playbook, how to make an SWP really work for you. Here are 5 steps to get you on the right track. First, know exactly what this money is for. Is it for essential bills or for fun stuff? Second, pick a sustainable withdrawal rate. A good rule of thumb is somewhere in the 3 to 5% range annually. Why? Because that rate has a better chance of letting your investment grow enough to keep up, preserving your capital long term. Third, and this is huge, pick the right kind of fund for your risk level. Fourth, don't just set it and forget it. Review your plan every year. And finally, it's always a good idea to chat with a financial advisor to get a strategy tailored just for you. Now, about picking the right fund, this is absolutely critical. If you need this income for your essential expenses, you want stability. That means you should probably be looking at things like hybrid funds or debt funds because they're less bumpy. Now, can you use equity funds? Yes, but with a big dose of caution. They're much better for supplementary income, where it's okay if the payout isn't perfectly consistent. And as a general rule, just stay away from the really volatile stuff like thematic, sectoral, or small cap funds for a stable SWP. They're just too unpredictable. All right, we've covered a ton of ground here. We've talked about what an SWP is, how it works, the good, the bad, and how to set one up for success. So let's just bring it all home. If there's just one thing you take away from all this, I want it to be this. An SWP isn't just a button you press to take money out. It is a strategic tool. It literally transforms that static lump sum of savings into a dynamic engine that can generate regular, tax-efficient cash flow for you. So when you boil it all down, the SWP advantage really rests on 4 main pillars. You get that steady income, your self-paid salary. You get flexibility because you are in control. You get fantastic tax efficiency so you keep more of your money. And you still have growth potential because your money keeps working for you. I mean, that's a combination that's pretty tough to beat. And I think we'll end on this thought. At the end of the day, financial planning is all about giving you the freedom to live the life you want, right? An SWP is one of the best tools out there to help you do exactly that by making your investments finally start working for you systematically. Thanks so much for tuning in to this explainer.